Hello everybody, Vigo Shadow here, and today we're going to be doing another character banner. We actually have two that are out that I haven't covered yet, so one of them is a Shadow Festival banner that's out for a very long time, so I'm glad I'm kind of getting around to that soon. You can check that out in my other video. I do have it. It is another one of those swap characters. We have Shadow, Master Shadow, and Aurora, so it's like, that's a really, really good unit. I would assume. So, but we're going to be going over that kit in another video here. Today's video is about Master's Special Menu. Zeta we're doing. So, we already went over Aggressive Maid Delta, which had some, quite a few perks on her as well. But we're going to be looking at Master Special Menu Zeta's kit. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it right off the bat. I love this artwork. I love how colorful the background is, with the themes of, like, I believe pink and red and like white, and then just little off color like stuff like here. I think it's either green or yellow. I can't really tell, but that kind of pops out as well. And then the spoon, this heart, like little heart spoon in there, and it's just funny. It's just kind of funny, and you see a little bit of more of the cake there. Honestly, it's pretty good. It's pretty good artwork. Let's go under max stats. Let's go ahead and try that. Rank 19, that's a thing now. So go ahead and go to power boot. We're going to go from power to healing boost. Then from healing boost to overheal. Or 1 second, I'm just adjusting. There we go. And then we're going to the grouping. So there's the grouping there. We can go back to initial. Let's go to the skills here. So hidden technique. We're going to go check that out. It's called Magic Just For You. So first off, we're lowering this is the ultimate now, alright? So the hidden technique lowers crit defense of first enemy in line by 1% multiplied by all enemies total poison effects stacks, or bringing poison back into this again for 10 seconds. So depending on how much you have, so if you have 10 stacks of poison, it's going to be 10%, which you can go all the way up to 100 stacks of poison, and that'd be 100% lower the crit defense, so you're going to be hitting crits hard, and when you do hit the crits hard, it's going to hurt a lot. So obviously right off the bat, that's a lot of, like, spill from my mouth. Just basically, you got to have, if you're having this character, right, she is a blue attacker, you got to make sure that you're hitting crits, because there's no point at that point. But then we have, let's just go ahead and check out the other thing here. So we have poison effects, that's the whole, like, beginning part of it, and then the 2-hit combo. I like 2 hits a lot better now. So that's 1,400, which is actually kind of on the weaker side, to be honest. But then we have the further inflicts 50% damage multiplied by all enemies' total poison effect stack. So max is 1,500, so you can actually go 1,400, so you get 2,900% damage maximum output, and that's pretty good. That would be pretty good, because then essentially you might even hit damage cap on a 3-hit. So this would be technically 3 hits. So it's 2 hits right there, and then another 50% that can go, or it can go all the way up to 1,500%, which is very, very nice. So there's a lot of things. This whole hidden technique is very loaded, but it's very base value. You have a 2-hit, 700, 700, 1,400, and then 50% damage multiplied by the poison effects. So there's that. Hidden technique's not too bad as long as you hit maximum output, and if you are able to hit crits as well. So, because otherwise that whole first and second sentence, or yeah, the first sentence doesn't really matter at that point. Let's just check it out. If she can pull off like crits for the team, and she could do a lot of poison, then this is pretty. We're looking at a solid unit here. Skill 1 was that too bold? Alright, so we have a 3-hit combo right here, 50-50-50, on all enemies, so that's not too bad. It's 150%. Actually, that is bad, so I take that back. But, I mean, at least it's a 3-hit. We have the poison factor here, which is 10 times poison, which that's what we want to see. Her kit's kind of going around, basing it around poison, so hopefully we can see more stacks of that. When it's awakened, you get 20%. I didn't even see what it was awakened on the other one, so I'm going to have to go check that real quick. Sometimes I forget that. So we got 20 stacks of poison and 300% damage, which actually kind of solid. 1% of skill user's attack for 30 seconds. On all enemies. Also inflicts poison times, and then 1% of skill user's attack. Okay, yep. Alright, I get that now. Further lowers speed by 1% multiplied by all enemies' total Poison effects, now that's actually pretty useful, because at the bare minimum, you're, this is on all enemies, right? You got 5 enemies, that's 50 stacks of poison. You're lowering all their speed by 50%, which is crazy. So, and this is multiplied by all enemies' total poison effects. So if you have multiple enemies, this is going to stack incredibly quicker, and you're going to get more out of it. So let's just check the first one here. We did not see what this looked like awakened. So we actually have 2,000% damage. This is actually a solid one. We go from 700 to 1,400 to 2,000 damage on a 2-hit. That's incredibly good for that being awakened, by the way. And then we get quicker stacks on the poison, and then we actually have the poison cap raised to 2,000%. If you get all this, like all these things within this hidden technique, this is a very, very good move, because essentially you're doing, I think this is the most I've seen actually that you can do in a hidden technique. This is 4,000% damage, okay? 4,000% damage. On top of that, you can lower the crit defense, so all the way down to 0, or like you'll have no crit defense, so crits will hit super damn hard. That's actually very good, and it sets it up for the next person's hidden technique even better. So, I mean, if you can hit damage cap each time, that's crazy. But we're going back to skill 1. When this is awakened, you get 20 stacks of poison, and you get 2% more speed on that, which is very, very good, because essentially, like doubling it up, that's just... let's just take the same example. There's 5 enemies. That's 100 stacks of poison, and you're lowering the speed by 200%. I believe, right? 100 stacks? Yeah, 100. And then, yeah, that'd be 200%. You lower the speed by 200%. That's crazy. Crazy work right there. Let's check out Isn't It Made Like? So, raises own attack by 20% for 20 seconds. Raises crit attack of all Theanthrope allies by 1%. Multiplied by all enemies' total poison effects stacked for 10%. So you can essentially raises the crit attack. So this goes perfect actually. So honestly, you can raise the crit defense all the way down to 0, or like 100%, like get rid of all of it, and then you can raise everybody's crit attack up to 100%. So when you hit crits, it's gonna definitely hit their damage cap at that point. If you're doing like hidden techniques and you have stacked characters, like it's gonna make it a lot easier for sure. Now the only problem is, can your team create crits? That's the issue there. Now let's check out the special ability here, but like all these poison stacks are pretty good, so I mean even then you're still getting crit attack, so even if you're at like a coin toss, when you do hit crits, it's going to sting hard, so that's going to be good. A lot of potential for good damage, and speed reduction too, so I mean we have that. Speed reduction is like one of probably the biggest things here, and then of course the crit attack. But yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. Let's see, made special menu, let's go ahead and check that out. Every 10 seconds after the start of wave, inflicts 5% poison on a single enemy with the lowest HP for 30 seconds. That kind of sucks when you have more than one player on the field, with like especially bosses. Because then you have it on the minions, and then the minions die, and then your stacks of poison are gone. So, but if it's just the boss, that's pretty good. On a single enemy with the lowest HP for 30 seconds, raises crit rate of all Theanthrope allies by 1%, stacked by poison. So it's like, okay, crit rate, that's exactly what we want to see. So this team is definitely going around your T allies, your Theanthrope allies. If you don't have Theanthrope allies, your team's gonna sting a little bit, I'm sure. So, especially with crit rate, because if you're lowering crit defense like up to 100% on the boss, which you're probably gonna have to wait later in the wave, maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds afterwards, then you can have their whole crit defense is lowered, everybody's crit attack is up at like 100 or 200, and then you have crit rate up to like 100%, which would be 100% crits. 100% crits would be awesome, because everybody's going to be critting. It's going to be excellent. But the thing is you want to make sure that you have a lot of people inflicting poison. If you can find another unit that can inflict poison, that'd be really, really good. So we go from 5 poison to 10 poison. And it's instead of 1%, it's 3% of skill user's attack, so it's going to be doing more poison damage as well. And then you actually have let's see here. You actually have an addition right here at the end, which is probably going to make the best part of the kit right here, which is the Master Special Menu. Inflicts 100% damage on a single enemy with lowest HP for every 10 poison effects on all enemy. Max 300%. That's crazy. For every 10 stacks, so every 10 poison stacks, they're going to be inflicting damage on them as well. So that's actually pretty good. It's still a little bit of damage, but it's something, you know, more to that. You know, it's an addition to that, which is really, really good still. Let's check out the Link gear. I'm very curious on this, but this is definitely based around, you know, obviously T allies for sure. Alright, let's see here. At the start of the wave, raises own damage inflicted by 30% for 60 seconds. That's damn good. 30%, the whole wave, you get 30% more damage inflicted, and you inflict 2 poison on all enemies for 15. That's not that good actually, 2 poison, but it's for like 15 seconds too. So, I mean, it's just a small jump. That should, like, it's better off if it wasn't there. Stacks are stacks, but I mean, that's just 2 poison, man. That could have been way better. Further raises damage received by 20%. So you get more damage received at the start of the wave for the enemies. So, I mean, you get a little bit of a jump start into doing more damage. So, all in all, I think her kit is not that bad. It's, for an event unit, it's pretty good. Especially if you're going to be tracing your enemies or tracing your allies, your blue teams around these Theanthrope characters. With obviously aggressive maid Delta being a good addition, because I believe, is she a blue attacker? Yeah, she's a blue attacker. So if you have these two, obviously they like to do that where they pair them up both. It's going to be really good for your team for sure. But what you're going to want even more is somebody that can do poison. So let's just go ahead and check that out. We're going to want to find somebody that can do poison, and then we'll go over the Awakening roadmap here. I mean, right off the bat, this is one of those Theanthrope allies that are an attacker that has like a god tier SS plus magic gear, so having her on your team would probably be a must. Let's see what else you can kind of do. Can't do Beatrix, not really. I'm trying to think. New can do poison, I know that, and her magic gear is actually pretty legit. So even though she's not a T ally, she can at least throw poison down a little bit more. If I can find her. Well, she's there. Hold on, I'm just gonna try to find her again. I probably passed her and you guys are laughing, but, you know, oh well. There she is. She's not a T ally, but she can do, let's see here, that's bleed. Is it just bleed? I might have got it mixed up, not poison. Oh, nope, she does not do poison, so never mind that. There's other units, though, that can, I believe. I just can't remember which ones can do poison on blue. But that's what you're going to want to look for, and if you can't find that, then, I mean, that's going to definitely suck, because, I mean, she could do a lot of poison as is, but you just kind of want something more. So if you can find, even if you have to mix and match, it might even be worth it to throw something that can do more poison, like maybe this one here. She could do poison, I know that. It's just 1 stack, though. Maybe not the best on there, but I know that there's some other units that you could probably fish around for, and that's what you'd want to base your team around. Somebody that can either do like an efficient amount of poison. If it's like a couple stacks, like maybe up to 5, I wouldn't even worry about that. That's kind of trash. It'd be better to have T allies at that point to try to get up to the 100% crit rate. So if you're basing your team around that, a lot of like Theanthrope allies like Zeta and Delta, of course, then that's a pretty good pick for you for sure. And then Awakening, Magic Gear slot right off the bat, that sucks, I'm going to be honest. So right off the bat, it's bad right off the bat. 40% attack, raises crit rate by 2%, so, I mean, that's not bad. Or no, sorry, crit attack. So, crit rate's better. That one's an okay one. I'd say that's pretty good. Because that's mainly the crit attack, and it raises your own attack by 40%, so that's actually pretty decent. I'd say it's okay. This one is the... Was that too bold? I think that's the worst part of... Or no, that's 10 more stacks of poison, so that's actually very beneficial. So A3 is pretty good. It's good for her kit. Hidden Technique is excellent because you do... you go from like 1,400 to 2,000, 600% more damage. And you actually can do 500% more damage through the poison route, so that's definitely probably one of the best things of her kit. But of course, the very best thing in her kit is the A5, where at every 10 seconds after the start of the wave, you're inflicting 10 times poison. And this is what makes it all worth it, because you go 10 stacks on a single enemy, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 50 stacks of poison at least. That's 50% crit rate, that's 50% of the crit attack, that's 50%, you know, lowering the crit defense when you do the hidden technique at 50 seconds of the wave at minimum. And then, of course, you have to factor in all these other poison effects that she can do, like especially the 10 times poison, or if you have A3, 20 times poison, which is going to be pretty good. So, like I said, I think she would benefit a lot if you had another unit that's blue and that's a T ally. Alright, I think mixing match doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's really blue. She's not really color restricted, so that's good. But what she really does benefit from is like the Anthropope allies and poison allies that can create poison. So if you have any of that, that'd be very good to throw on to that team. Nonetheless, I say she's a very excellent unit. I'm talking like top tier unit if you're basing your whole blue team around this type of ally. Otherwise, if you're mixing and matching and trying to get poison out of it and then just doing a T ally team, she's very good to bring in that case. Just watch out for your colors and certain bosses, because obviously your unit can be wiped within seconds if it's a different color sometimes, so just something to watch out for. But if I were to give her a rating, I'd say she's an A rank character if you have the T allies and you built your whole team around it. Potentially S tier if you had the right units. But her at base with no other pairings, and just to go off like stuff that you can find in the regular character pool, I give it a solid C, maybe C tier, because like at least her and this other blue Delta that I showcased earlier are probably the best thing on blue that you could pair with her at the moment. Like her and that Zeta is probably the best thing you can have, unless you have other event units and like stuff like that. But either way, I'm not going to get into it too much with the rankings here, but it's still a pretty damn good unit if you're basing your team around blue, or if you're basing your team around the Anthropope and poison. So just keep that in mind. There also is an incentive with this one, so that's also a good thing to pull. So yeah, should I pull? Definitely if you're going to try to build a team around that. I personally wouldn't, because we have this little banner up here. We have Epsilon and Beta, which is like a significantly better banner, and then we also have the Reign of Violet Light and Shadow, Reign of Violet Light, Shadow and Aurora. Check out that video for sure, so I can tell you what's what you're missing out on here. So definitely go ahead and check that one out, because this is another Switch unit. It's very hype, and I will definitely be covering that. So go ahead and check that out. Thanks for watching. This is Vigo signing off.